Hi everyone, it's Sir Fadrik and welcome back to another adventure in the game development world. And on this weekend, we had the Ludum Dare 47 and it was an amazing 72 hours game jam. I had a small team with my sister doing art and me doing the code. And it was her first time creating art for any game. It was a pretty amazing experience for everyone. In this video, we're doing something a bit different. We're not talking about how this game was made in a normal devlog, but we're gonna take about the game design ideas and choices that I took to make the game as it's right now. So sharpen your swords and let's get started. Our game was called UnderLoop, which take you on a young guy adventure to find his grandpa in this looping underworld filled with creatures, stories, and puzzles. So if you haven't played the game yet, it's just a 15-minute to 30-minute gameplay loop, so I really encourage you to play it, link in the description. But now, from here on, it's all spoilers on the game. And now, on the first game design choice I had to take is the gameplay loop or the main gameplay mechanic of this entire game. And here I took inspiration from the repeating castle level from Mario games. And here, if you didn't take the specific way up and down the platforms, the castle will simply repeat and loop on itself. So I copied this mechanic and I changed it and switched it up. Instead of having a long level with multiple platforms, I just squashed the level into one screen and just added small platforms here and there so the player can make his way up and down each one of them. And to make the game a bit more visual and to give the player a feedback or indication that he's activating the top of the platform or the bottom of the platform, I added simple torches that will light up indicating which way or which path the player took. And when he reached the end of the screen, if he lit 4 torches, the steel door will disappear, taking him to the next room based on the torches that has been activated. And this really gave the feeling of stuck in a loop. And if you do some small and simple math, you can figure it out that we have 4 torches. Then by simple probability functions, we now have 16 rooms to fill out with NPCs, or just leave them empty to make the player feel a bit more stuck in a loop. And another game design choice, to make the empty room even feel more random, we added some decorations scrambled out around the room, and each loop the decoration changes. Some will be deactivated and some will change the sprite. This will make the player feel okay, this is a different room from the one before if he didn't get the mechanic right. And in this game we really don't want the player to get the mechanic right, because the feeling of stuck in a loop is very important here. And the final game design choice that has to be added to any game mechanic is, did the player understand the mechanic or not? So to solve this, I added a small puzzle to help an NPC crack the safe code. The safe has an encrypted code, and to solve this code you need to add 1 or -1 to each digit, and you figure out which time to add or which time to minus by using or figuring out the way how did you came into this room. If you lit up all 4 up torches, you need to add 1 to each digit and so on. So this puzzle really uses the mechanic to its fullest. So the player has to remember how he did get to this room and what to do now by adding or -1 to that puzzle. It was a really simple puzzle to add, a bit hard, but by the feedback I got 50-50 chance people solving it in the first time and people trying a bit and a bit more. And next I had to create the tutorial, and each game should have a tutorial, and the tutorial really set at the ground base of knowledge that the player needs to know in playing any game. And in our game the player needs to know how to move and how to interact with objects and how to jump and those simple stuff. But in my tutorial I had a choice. Do I just tell the player about the real gameplay mechanic or let him discover it? And I went with the second choice. I set up the layout of the tutorial levels to be just the 4 top torches, and when the player lights them all up, the first and the centerpiece of all the play or the game will show up, which is the room with the door that the player has to open to finish or to complete the game. And by that I just gave the player a white canvas, the basic controls he need to know, and I just told them play and figure it out. Some players, they take some time to figure out the puzzle, and some players just, okay, it really clicked immediately. I need to light torches to make the rooms appear, and when I light the same torches, the same room appears again. And it's really clicked because a lot of players got lost, and this was intended. The play or the game main theme was stuck in a jam. Wait, what? Stuck in a loop, excuse me. So when the player gets stuck in a loop, then you did a really good job. And when simply player figure out the game mechanic, it's smooth sailing till the end of the game. I added a small note which I never did in my games. They open the note and it's just an input field so the player can just write his own notes. This is really amazing, and I really want to add it in other future games to let the player just, okay, just add their own notes, or add their own observation of the game, or just, okay, up down, it's the room like number 1 or number 2. They are the creator of their own face, and that give more feeling depth in the adventure of this young man for the player. And this lead us to our final game design choice that I had to take, which is the mood and the whole aesthetic of the game, or the dungeon, or the underlooping world, if you want to say it like that. And here I went crazy with adding 2D lighting, making the scene up way darker than it should be, add some juice, some music, some text to the NPCs. This all make the scene a bit more dark and a bit more, I can't remember the word, I can't figure out the real word, moody. The scene was moody, and this was exactly what I want the player to feel. And the music, the background music was perfect for it. And if you just play the game without knowing any of the gameplay mechanics, your first 5 or 10 minutes you will be completely lost. As simple as word can explain that. You will be really stuck in the loop, and I was really good at projecting that, and I was simply surprised by my ability to create this piece of art or this graphic to give that specific mood, because after all I'm a coder, and pulling up something like this, I consider it a big milestone in my career. Sadly, now we are at the end point of our video. What do you think of this type of video? Instead of going devlog about coding, I went something different today and talked about game design, which I rarely do on this channel. Please let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and the ideas about this type of videos. Should I repeat them for my future games, or just get back to the regular devlogs? In the end, thanks everyone for watching, and if you made this far, consider subscribing and joining our kingdom of Discord if you want to make some friends and ask some game development questions. But now, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. See you all in the next adventure.